What's goody to any and everybody who may be listening? Okay. Now we done got so deep into the story, deep into the body. We are getting deeper and deeper into the body. Now it is time to speak about Tashawn and Ralph. Tashawn and Ralph, those were two of my best friends back in the day. But see, the situation is complicated. I'm gonna tell you. While I do love the both of these individuals, even still to this day, this was most definitely warfare, spiritual warfare, individuals on the other side, not divine beings, most definitely. Okay. Now, I gotta tell you how me and Tashawn first met. The neighborhood Cinnamon Ridge is very significant. That is a very significant neighborhood for a number of reasons. Okay. So you're gonna hear me talk about that neighborhood a lot. In these messages. That's when I was about, adolescence. We moved out there about 3 times. So the first time I was about 7 or 8 when we moved out there. Then the second time I was about 13 or 14 when we moved out there. Now this is the second time. The second time is probably one of the most important time because that's when the most happened. I was in my adolescent state, a lot of emotions. I gotta tell you, a lot of bullies too. So we're gonna talk about Tashawn and how we became acquainted. Okay, now I met Ralph through Tashawn. Okay, but anyway, so Tashawn. I met Tashawn out in Cinnamon Ridge. He was supposed to be Nicole. We talking about Nicole McNeil. Nicole McNeil's cousin. Okay. Right away, this individual and I did not get along. It was that Draco in him. It was the Draco in him that he could not take the light that he saw within me. So we just did not get along. We were enemies at first. He was a bully. He was a bully. I gotta tell you, he was a bully. And he bullied me specifically, just like Brendan Pegues. I talked about Brendan Pegues a while back. He bullied me because he knew that he could. And things of this nature. See, these individuals knew because they could see that my energy was bound up a lot. Because had my energy not been bound up, these bitches would have never tried it. Okay? But anyway, so this individual was a bully at first. He would start shit with me just because I was a feminine boy. And at that age, I was a very feminine boy. 13, 14, yes, I was a very feminine boy. And running around Cinnamon Ridge, carefree, just about carefree, did not give a fuck about it. But like I said, I was not as solid as I am now. But then I was like a child. I really did not care. It was like carefree. I was about 13, 14. I was running around a little feminine boy in the neighborhood of Cinnamon Ridge. Now, I always see Tashawn. Tashawn didn't like it. Now, Tashawn, most definitely Draco. Heart, very heart closed. Although I will say that I feel like he might love in his own way. Now I'm not going to really too much disrespect Tashawn because I did love Tashawn. So it's not going to be a lot of me being mean, but I'm going to be honest and truthful about what I felt throughout this relationship. Again, he was a bully. It started out with him bullying me. It started out with him seeing me in all of my feminine glory and him being repelled or repulsed and bullying me. Because he thought that he could, because I was real small and sort of small, frail, small boy and things of this nature. This is why those boys, these Draco boys, thought that they could bully me and things of this nature. So that's what that started out as. Let's go ahead and call our light sparks back. From that, I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks, and soul fragments that got caught up, lost, or abandoned within the midst of Tashawn Armstrong, who became one of my best and closest friends, are released, removed, freed, and brought on home to the mother, the father, and the child, which is of course none other than myself, baby. You better know it. You better close that mother. Ooh, girl, you just, baby, you better get from out that church and stop listening to them pastors tell you them lies, cause you don't know nothing. Okay. Now let's move right on along. So, some time passed by. This was almost an everyday occurrence. Like I would come outside, and just being me and Tashawn and whoever else would be there. Pretty much the whole neighborhood of Cinema Ridge, all the motherfucking boys in the neighborhood did bully me. They bullied me. See, that's why I say it was complicated, because while they bullied me, there was some sort of like bond. Still, it wasn't a mean and hateful bullying. It was like I can't really describe it. It wasn't necessarily a mean and hateful bully, but the boys did gang up on me at that time, at that age. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and call our lights right back from that, because I don't know if I'm going to make a whole nother video about the whole neighborhood. I probably will, but let's do that first. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks, and soul fragments that were lost or that had gotten caught up within the midst of all of that bullying that was going on within the neighborhood of Center Ridge by all them boys who would bully me just because I was a feminine boy. And I'm talking about all of them, from Terrence, what's his name, Terrence, Big Terrence, to Jamal, to anybody. All of them are released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay. Let's move on. So eventually, what caused myself and Tashawn to become friends in the first place was there was some sort of strange circumstances. I forgot what had happened down to the house where we were living at that time. We both stayed in the same neighborhood, but we stayed in different buildings. I forgot what happened down at the house that day that prompted us being myself and Sharita, and I don't know if they Young the Rail came too, but I think they did come because we were so small then. We had to go up there and stay up we spent the night at Tashawn and them house on that night. Now, that was the night that shifted the energy, that it changed everything. This is what called. Now, after that, myself and Tashawn, we became very close. We bonded that night. Somehow, some way, we bonded, and we got through that thick shit, that whatever that bullying shit was, we got through it. Because I'm trying to tell you, like, baby, I'm just a cool cat. Period. So normally that's just how it happens. But anyway, we got through that. Okay. Myself and Tashawn, we got through that. Although I will say that again, this is like now looking back, it feels like manipulation. It feels like it was set up to be that way. And again, after this, well, what can you call it between me? After this friendship, because it was a friendship, I can't even lie about that, and it lasted for years. After this friendship formed, I neglected my former self, that little feminine boy I did. I turned my back on that little feminine boy, and I tried to become this boy, this straight boy, this little boy, following behind Tashawn. Now, I gotta say, Tashawn was probably the only one. I gotta give him that credit. That I followed. I allowed myself to follow behind Tashawn. Now I'm gonna have to call my light sparks back from that right now. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks and soul fragments that got caught up or that had gotten lost and stolen, abandoned within the midst of myself, allowing myself to follow Tashawn and to abandon my true real self are released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay. So we were as thick as thieves. We did everything together. You know, we smoked reefer together. Tashawn, we joked, we laughed, we played, we kikied, and we cackled, and things of this nature. It was actually one of the greatest times of my life. Looking back at it, this was sort of like my introduction into boyhood, almost, if you can call it. Well, along with po' boy and things of this nature, which again, these are agents and you know, people that work, Dracos that worked for the Matrix anyway, but you know what I'm saying? I got to say, because I'm grateful, unlike these motherfucking Dracos, even though I'm snatching my shit back, I'm grateful for the lessons because, bitch, I wouldn't have made it through without being able to absorb that energy, because I surely, if they thought they was absorbing my energies, bitch, they had me fucked up. Okay, it was their energies that I was in the process of absorbing the whole time. Okay, without that darkness that they tried to throw onto me, that I was able to absorb and transmute, I wouldn't, baby, I wouldn't have made it. Okay, that's why it's like, thank you. Okay, so. You know, this lasted years, and I would say 13. Okay, I was 13, 14 at the time when we started to really come together and be cool. By the time we were about, I'm gonna say, I don't know, maybe 20 something, 22. It was a wrap. You know, I had moved away to Garner. You know, once I moved to Garner, we started to stay less and less in contact. But he would still be coming down to the trailer, and you know, we'd be, you know, doing what we do. Again, like I said, because we flipped Crystal on that bet. Well, they did. They fucked Crystal. I didn't. Anyway, so let me see if I'm forgetting something before we move on. Now, Tashawn got to selling that crack. Tashawn got to pushing. One thing about Tashawn is that he was money motivated. He was all about the dollar, all about it. And again, did not have no heart. Did not have a heart. Was just all about money. I gotta say this, one thing that happened that I did not like what he did with his cousin. One time we went on up to New Jersey to visit his relatives in New Jersey. Now, it was a fun trip. I did sort of like being up there in Passaic, New Jersey. It was beautiful. We went up to New York and things of this nature. I gotta say, I didn't really like Tashawn's attitude when he was around new people. When he got around new people, he acted very different. We're gonna have to go ahead and call our life partner for that, but I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm gonna wait until I talk about this one time in specific, when one of his cousins or whoever that was and came on down from New Jersey. Now, we were back in Raleigh, North Carolina at this time, and one of his cousins had them came on down from New Jersey, and I was over there, and something was going on. I forgot, but Tashawn was being very mean to me. I remember being in that kitchen trying to cook me some oodles and noodles, or cook me some noodles, and something happening between myself and Tashawn. And him just being real funny, and it took me back to them days when he was bullying me. Now, this was probably about 2 or 3 years into the friendship when he did this and was acting like this real brand new in front of the cousin that came down from New Jersey. Now, let's go ahead and call our light sparks back from that, because I ain't like that. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks, and soul fragments that were lost and that got caught up, abandoned, or fearful in the moment where Tashawn was acting brand new in front of his cousin that came down from New Jersey, or whenever he would act brand new in front of anybody that he would act brand new in front of, because that's what he gave, are released, removed, healed and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay. Now, I had forgot about this girl, but there was also this girl where when we had went up to New Jersey, she wanted to fuck, but I do not like. I cannot connect to a woman in that way. It has to be a very special circumstance. I have to be around her for a long time. I have to know her. She has to, there has to be some sort of heart connection going on, and that's rare. So I'm gonna have to call my lights off from that because I couldn't get in the rest for that girl up in there. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks, and soul fragments that were lost in the midst, or that had gotten abandoned in the midst of myself trying to fuck that girl, and she was a cute girl too, she was alright, are released, removed, freed, healed, and brought on back home to me because I miss them, baby. If they done stole them, give them back. They mine. Okay? Now, what else did I want to say about Tashawn? Over the years, I mean, Tashawn. Now, one thing about Tashawn is that he could fight too. The bitch had some hands. The bitch could fight. Now, I can't take that from him. That's why he was, he was a bully. What I will say about Tashawn is that yes, while he was a bully, he wasn't just a bully. Like, he would still fight individuals. He would fight. It's not like he would just bully me just because he knew he could bully me. Now, he would fight people bigger than him and shit like that. He would fight. I gotta get that to him. Okay. Now, what else about Tashawn? What else about Tashawn? What I'm gonna say about Tashawn? Okay. Sharita called him Day Day, or whatever. We used to get such a kiki and a cackle out of that, but she would call him Day Day. And say something about scoundrel, or dirty rotten scoundrel. Let's go ahead and call my life back from that. Even though it wasn't bad, let's just get our life back from that, because that took a lot of energy. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul fragments that were caught up in the midst of that, lost in the midst of Sharita and calling Tashawn Day Day and calling us scoundrels and dirty rotten scoundrels, even though it was funny and cute at the time, and the kiki and the cackle are removed, released, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. And I also want to say, any other positive experience that I have not called my light sparks back from, I do not care what it is, throughout the duration of this lifetime. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, and I'm talking about outside of Tashawn, any and all of my energy, light sparks, and soul fragments that are still remaining to be caught up in any of these so-called or perceived positive experiences where there were lots of laughs and it was just happy. I want all of my light sparks are released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay. So I gotta say this about. So now another thing we used to do is rap. Like we used to rap. Now I'm fit to Tashawn now. One thing we used to do was rap. Me, Tashawn, Ralph was rapping and MCing, writing them rhymes. Like, I gotta tell you that, baby. I'm finna be honest. See, this is where I'm finna be honest. Tashawn, now, it was the rhymes for me. It was the rhymes, and you needed a little bit of work. I don't think you was willing to listen or work, or like I could have taught you how to rhyme. I could have taught you how to do better, but I don't think that you was trying to listen. It was not. You weren't giving the rhymes. You were not giving. It won't give in with the rhymes. Now, that flow, it was off. You was off key, off beat, something like that. And it just won't come together. I don't know why. You put me in the mind of Noriega or something like that. Nori, now I love Nori. I love Nori, but it's something about his rhymes is alright. They could be better. Okay? Anyway. Now I gotta call my light sparks back up out of that and them sessions we used to have up in that house when me, you, and Ralph, and whoever else will be up in there writing and freestyling and shit. I gotta call my light sparks for that. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks, and soul fragments that have been left behind, that got lost and abandoned within that process of us being rappers and MCs and writing and freestyling and things of this nature and them ciphers back in the day are released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay. Now, what else do I want to say about Ty? And again, I'm appreciative of Tashawn. I gotta say it. I really do appreciate what he did because, baby. Okay, but so let's move on to the next. So we moved to Ghana, and we were in contact to a certain degree, but this when the friendship started to we started to get distance and things of this nature. I gotta talk about how he entered into Sanderson High School, or we got into high school. How he acted. He again, Tashawn was the type of person to act very funny in front of new energies, or get this new energy in front of people, and things of this nature, acting like we won't, because we called each other cousins. That's the thing about it. He was my cousin. We called each other cousins. Let me call my light sparks back from these instances where he would treat me some type of way, and then had another call me his cousin. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, light sparks, and soul fragments that were caught up within that, Tashawn, that being my cousin, and then him turning around and treating me some type of way, especially as we entered into high school at Sanderson High School, where he most definitely acted away in front of new energies all the time. Are released, removed, freed, and brought on home to the mother, the father, and the child. Okay. Okay. What else? Let's think, because I don't want to miss nothing. Okay, I don't want to miss nothing. Excuse me. Okay, so let's talk about now, baby. I gotta tell you, cause I gotta be honest. I'm gonna be honest in what I absolutely 100%. This is what this is about. I'm being 100% honest, so that there's nothing that these motherfuckers, these dark energies, can use against me. Now, after had been in these situations with Tashawn for so long, we were living in the neighborhood of Sandy Creek at this time. This was before we moved to Ghana. And being in these situations with Tashawn and fucking with these girls, and baby, I gotta tell you now, for Tashawn to have been as short as he was, for Tashawn to be as short as he was, now the motherfucker had some meat on him. Now that's one thing about it. He had some meat on him, and I had done seen that meat several times. From when we were flipping them girls, or when I was trying to, but couldn't, but couldn't. And I had seen that meat a lot of time. After a while, I just look. I couldn't. I said, look, I gotta see something. I had to see something. But you know what? I did come on. So I was kind of, I came on to him a little bit. I didn't really. I wanted to see it, and I forgot what I said to him that day when we was up in my room that day. But I wanted to see his pubic hair or something. I don't know. I forgot what the hell that was. But he shot it down. However, he did not. He didn't, change up on me after that. After I did that, and after a while, after seeing that for so long, baby, I say Tashawn has some meat on him. I ain't gonna lie. Let's go ahead and call our light sparks back from that. I decree and declare that any and all of my energy, like sparks and soul fragments that got caught up and lost within the midst of that moment, that weakness, that was a weakness that I had just in that one moment after seeing Tashawn for so long. It had been years that done passed by, and I was like, let me see something right quick. All released, removed, freed, and brought on back home to the mother, the father, and the child, which is none other than me. Thinking back at that thing, it was funny, but at the time, it was sort of embarrassing. I gotta say, I was sort of humiliated that I even did that, and I should have did it. Okay, all right. Now let's move on. Like, this is probably one of the five. We almost done. We wrapping up here. Now let's move on to when we get to Garner. We got the Garner, and then no, we moved out from Garner. We moved from Garner back to Raleigh. We were living in Riverbrook. I was starting to deal with Morris. Now, me and Morris were dealing together. Me and Tashawn were still, we still were in cahoots. We were still talking, we were still talking. But we were distant. You know what I'm saying? We probably talked maybe once every 2 months, stuff like that.